Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a designer working on Tribe Primitive Builder. Today I will answer some of your questions about the game. I would say it's a middle ground between these two options. Yes, you put a blueprint of a structure, then gather resources, and then play a set of minigames that will allow you to construct everything basically part by part. What happens after death depends on how you die. We have two kinds of death in our game, soft and hard. In the case of soft death, you lose consciousness and then, after some time, one of your tribe members finds you and transports you to your workshop. You will lose a few precious hours, some reputation and things like that, but you can still continue the game. In case of hard death, you will be banished from the village, and because of this, you will need to restart the game from the last checkpoint. No, actually quite opposite. We intend to make Tribe more on the relaxing side. But there will be plenty of customization options, so everyone will be able to adjust how challenging they want the experience to be. In our game you can craft tools part by part, so it's even more interactive than just an animation. It's a bit too early for realistic fluid simulation in open world games from a technical standpoint, so you can't change the flow of the river. But there is a bit of terrain manipulation in Tribe, mostly in the form of flattening terrain near the construction sites, so you won't be able to dig up holes everywhere. With all our games we try to reach more and more people, so we will try to localize Tribe in at least the same amount of languages as our previous release, ideally even more than that. It's a little bit too early to say exactly how many and which languages will be available, but we will keep you updated, as always. Although, while choosing languages, we base our decision on amounts of wishlists from each country, so make sure to click that wishlist button on our Steam page. As we said in our recent devlog, there are currently no plans for any kind of combat and hunting, as it would not fit the overall mood of the game. Because of that, we also don't plan to make very extensive fauna on the island itself. It also means no taming mechanics. There are no current plans for features related to setting traps for animals, but it is one of the forms that we were considering players could interact with the wildlife in our game. As our players will take on the role of the tribe's builder, they will be mostly forced to eat whatever they can find in the forest, but a group of specialized villagers later in the game can farm some basic crops. There is no combat in the game, but also no need for that in this case, because all sub-tribes on the island will be founded by the players, so it's like one big family. There will be some differences of opinion here and there, but no bloodshed is needed to solve these problems. As we hinted in our devlog about resources, there will be a little bit of trading in the late game, but everything players need to proceed in the game is available on the island. Trading is mostly designed to speed up resource gathering in the late game, and allow players to exchange large quantities of early game resources for something better and more useful in the later stages. No plans on having any kind of online functionality for now, but we would love to implement it in the future. Time will tell. Most of this I've already answered, so I will keep this one short. No, yes. No, no, yes. There will be a mine storyline in the tribe that will gently guide players, but we have also set a system for dynamically generated quests that will also help players to keep track of what is going on with the tribe. But we don't plan to make a player character to grow old and retire. Short answer is yes, of course. Tribe is not about surviving one night as an individual, but to expand and develop as a community. There are a lot of unique places to discover on the island, new tools, resources and constructions to discover, forgotten temple and gods, managing all the subtribes on the island and more. Personally, I think the most unique element of our game is taking part in the development of this primitive culture as a result of players' actions and decisions. But there is also this first-person city builder, manager thing going on. Player will start as a part of a small tribe. During the game, players can construct new workhouses that will give your people work and place to live. If your food production can sustain the needs of your tribe for a certain amount of time, new members will appear. Later in the game, constructing a special building will allow your tribe members to access new areas on the island and expand even more. But remember that splitting the population can result in differences of opinion. So make sure to not forget about older subtribes while exploring new parts of the island, because it can result in jealousy and displeasement of subtribes you forgot about. You can sprinkle on top of that, repairing buildings from time to time or upgrading them to increase their durability, dynamically generated quests that will reflect subtribe needs, and you will get basics of how it will work. Also, answering the second part of the question, players will be facing mostly nature and cold that will be present mostly at night. World of Tribe is mostly handcrafted by our team's artists, but the weather system, tribesmen needs and quests, ways how plants regrow on the island, religion and subtribe relations are all dynamic, so players will have a different experience each time they start a new game. Said all that, we also implemented many late game features that will allow players to expand their tribe even more after reaching the end of main storyline. But as we are still in the development phase, it's hard to tell how long it will take to complete the main story. Take in mind that main quest is there mostly to softly guide players in the direction of the progress, and we aim to make this game fun as long as it will take someone to expand all the villages so much there will be no more place to construct anything new, and amount of villagers living in them will basically break the game. I also saw a few questions about our team's size. Thanks for your concern. Currently there are 20 to 30 people working at Polisash. All of our team members send you best regards. And this is all the time I had today. I hope I answered most of your questions. If not, there will be more devlogs in the future. And maybe we'll have some time for another Q&A.